Drop a gem.
Woo, yeah.
But for me, it was a serious situation because I actually studied martial arts. And I studied martial arts because I was born with respiratory problems.
Oh, wow.
So my father basically sent me to a martial arts school, to toughen me up in the very beginning. But then, while I was there, I learned how to breathe totally different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I didn't suffer as much when it came to respiratory problems. So for me, that whole martial arts thing was always a serious side to me. And I just figured that, since it changed my life because of breathing and because of the respiratory problems, and I was able to rhyme the way in which I was rhyming. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I felt that, because of martial arts, it helped me to accomplish a lot within the music industry to this day. So I didn't really feel no way with Wu-Tang coming out with the whole martial arts thing either, because for me, I was like, well, I know we weren't the only ones that were sitting down there watching karate flicks, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I just figured that, we both did it different, and we represented martial arts in two different ways. They got more attention on it because of the usage of the samples and the cult following that they have, along with RZA doing the background for movies and stuff like that. So I'm not one of those people that's going to hate on stuff like that. So I mean, if that was supposed to work for them that way, then that was in God's plan. I never felt no way about it. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
Now, yo, that's dope. Now, talking about being that you talk about martial arts and all that, did that have anything to do with the name Fushnickens? Because that name is real unique and all that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Fushnickens was a name that Makfu and Pakfu made up. That meant fusion, because we all fused our unique styles to come up with our own sound. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the whole martial arts thing came from my angle, kind of, which was me saying that, every time I get on the mic, I'm going to introduce a different style, you know what I mean? And that could never be duplicated. And that's how we put everything together as far as that goes.
Absolutely. You mentioned style, and I think we might have just jumped ahead a little bit. You have one of the most unique styles, in all the hip-hop, man. There was only a couple of you guys, who rhymed with that speed and the cadence, and and you were pretty much like, maybe I wasn't really up on Twisted like that, but you might have been like the first one that I've saw a rhyme like that. Talk a little bit about how that style come about and crafting that, and how did that whole thing come about?
Well, I mean, the style came about, like I said, from ska music and listening to the different cadences on ska music and reggae music along with soca music. So when everybody else was repeating the word more than once to create a sentence, I was able to do full sentences at the time. So it wasn't me trying to repeat, sounding like I was saying one word, but everybody was like, well, he's saying the same word over the time. So I think I was one of the first people to actually say an entire sentence, or was saying sentences within the cadence. And I think that's what, why people gravitated to me more, because I wasn't repeating the word. You know what I mean? And I think that over the years is when people now started to, instead of double time and using one word, they started making sentences. So the only other person after me that I heard do that was Twister, because he was able to do full sentences. And then from there, you started hearing other people like Bone Thugs, who were able to harmonize in double time and full sentences. So for me, there's artists that were way before me that are from England in the late 70s, like in 79, who was doing it. Like there's Levi and Chipfu and all these people from Saxon Sound, and those are the people that I learned from. But they were doing the same thing. They were saying, they were doubling on the one word and then finish a sentence. So when I was sitting there at 11 years old, I was like, I don't want to double the word. I want to say a full sentence. So, I just figured out a way to just get it done at that time. But yeah.
How long did it take to perfect that? You mentioned 11 years old. Like how long did it take to to perfect that style? I imagine it's like punching in, or was it just walk me through that, like in the studio when you spitting those crazy a mile a minute words.
For me, it was never really like punching in or whatever. It was me saying where I was going to do what I was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I would tell the engineer that, after I record this one line, I'm gonna record it twice, and we picked the one that sounded more audible.
Mm-hmm.
But then all of them came out all audible, so I never had a problem.
Right.
I think one of the big